Allow me for a second to indulge my F1 subjectivity. I only say that to say that once upon a time, I used to love me some Damon Hill, one-time champion in 1996, Mr. Injustice in 1994 at the hands of the Red Baron, the one that they call Michael Schumacher. I remember waking up with my old man to watch the Adelaide Grand Prix, the season finale that year, live. We were rooting on Damon, desperately wanted that dude to get over the hill and win himself some silverware of the Drivers' Championship variety. And his story steeped in F1 lore, its heritage and legacy. You know already that Graham Hill, Mr. Charisma himself, two-time champion in Formula One. He's great. He's Damon's dad. How much techier can you get? And you understand the tragic end that Graham Hill met. Mr. Daring, Mr. Charismatic, Mr. Monaco, some called him at the time. So good was he. And Damon Hill's story is steeped in insecurity because he didn't want to be the next Graham Hill. He wanted to be the next Damon. He didn't want to be in F1. He wanted to ride motorcycles. And now he's given an interview on the High Performance podcast speaking about all this, the friction and tension, Damon Hill wanting to be the best version of himself, not Graham Hill 2.0. And in that interview, it's fascinating. And this is what makes me know that once upon a time I was right for loving Damon Hill, but things change over time now. They evolve in real time. Damon speaks about Alan Prost and his relationship, getting feedback of the technical variety, asking Alan Prost, how was your car through turn 3? And Alan Prost saying nothing, no selling, because again, didn't want to share that feedback, didn't want to give his teammate on the opposite side of the garage anything. Talks about going against Michael Schumacher and allowing him to fight that battle in 1994 on his terms, drawing Damon down to his level, on which Damon was never ever going to win. He talks about Ayrton Senna and the circumstance around the 1994 San Marino Grand Prix and having to jump back in the car afterwards, immediately after, not knowing what was the cause of the incident. You have to take lots of brave pills to do that. But again, most recently as a pundit, and I want to divide up Damon Hill as far as the driver. That's one thing, a completely separate entity from Damon Hill, the pundit. You'll recall that just before being sacked off from Sky Sports F1, the internationally syndicated broadcast, Damon Hill made some comments, controversial, polemic ones, about forcing to be 5-time champion, the one they call Max Verstappen. Here's what he said then. And again, he was talking about Maximilian Verstappen versus Lando Norris around COTA and Mexico in 2024. He said then that sport doesn't build character, it reveals it. Oh, the humanity. Of whom might you be speaking, Damon? Surely not Maximilian Verstappen. Not the dude who fought tooth and nail Sir Lewis Hamilton each and every single Grand Prix over the course of a 22 race season. Surely you can't be saying those things about Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen, the same bod who started as near as makes no difference in last place or 10th in Brazil last year and came through the field as if it was nothing and then proceeded to set 15 purple laps back to back to back to back. Surely that's not of whom you speak. And Damon Hill saw you that and would raise you this, speaking yet again about Maximilian Verstappen. He said that if everybody on the grid in the paddock drives like Max Verstappen does, then nobody will get an overtaking manoeuvre done. That's techier than techie things. What do you want, Damon? Do we want F1 snowflakery? I like my drivers to go hard each and every single time, to look at the line just as their engineers, aerodynamicists and mechanics do, and sometimes traverse it. Don't hate the player, some say, hate the game. Now on this high performance podcast, it's worth a lesson. It is God tier if indeed you're invested in F1 centric threads. Damon Hill goes on to say this, and again he reiterates, he's asked the question by the legend that is Jake Humphries, one-time F1 commentator. What is it specifically that you don't like about Maximilian Verstappen's driving style? He responds thus.
One point. No, where occasionally they are. What do you think of Max Verstappen's approach to racing? I'm not going to answer that, Jake. I've been totally,
Have you? Give us a more round.
So the reaction is, of course, because the last time that he said something like this, it was of material consequence. Damon Hill, once upon a time, was a pundit for Sky Sports F1, the internationally syndicated broadcaster. On the back of his most recent Dick Dastardly comments, sport doesn't build character, it reveals it, that if everybody overtakes like Max Verstappen, then nobody would ever get another overtaking manoeuvre done. He is no longer a pundit at Sky Sports. I would put forth the following supposition, that that's the reason for the sarcastic laughter there. Please continue.
What do you think of Max Verstappen's approach to racing?
I'm not going to answer that, Jake. I've been totally,
Have you? Give us a more rounded.
Not so.
That's the nice thing. We can be nuanced here, right?
So my take on it was that that when if you're racing someone and you want to stop them from passing you, you just simply cannon your car up the inside, even if the regs haven't been written clearly enough to say that you can do that. I don't think that is racing. It's simply taking a massive risk. But other people don't do it. If other people don't do it, then you're the outlier.
Yeah.
And running people clean off the track and just to stop someone from passing you is not racing.
Oh, the humanity. Let's pause it there because he's gone too techie already, has Damon. It's not racing. Listen, the rules are the rules are the rules, and if you operate within them and you don't get penalised, or even if you operate on the fringes of them, then surely you've got to point your finger of culpability at the FIA, the regulatory body. Surely amend the rules if they need amending and institute for them, just like that, just like they did between this year and last. Banger racing, Damon. Were you even watching last Grand Prix track? Did you see the move that Max pulled round the outside of Oscar Piastri, notwithstanding the fact that he didn't get a launch off the line? One of the goatiest manoeuvres. At this stage, Damon, the most recent evidence, everything that you're saying flies in the face of it. Let me tell you what I mean. Just put out a poll on the bloody channel. Mexico 2021, God tier overtaking manoeuvre into turn one again, round the outside of Valtteri Bottas and Lewis Hamilton. Maximilian Verstappen had no right doing that, Damon. Japan 2022, full monsoon conditions, round the outside again, full send on Charles Leclerc, who, by the way, is not a bad peddler either. Imola 2025, we've seen that most recently. And then Imola 2021, again, God tier overtaking manoeuvre on who? Just some fella called Sir Lewis Carl Davidson Hamilton. And if you're doing the F1 maths, that tells you all that you need to know. Please continue with the clip, Cameron.
Not racing. It's dodgems or whatever you want to call it. Banger racing.
Yeah.
It's not Formula One. We want to see skill. We want to see skill and daring, and we want it to be surgically done, not bludgeon. You don't take a
skill and daring. Was he not watching this race weekend past? Damon Hill, legend of Formula One, 1996 one-time champion. He can't have been watching. Those are the type of characterizations, adjectives even, that epitomise everything that we saw at this race weekend past the final race at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, was it not? Please continue.
Mallet to something. We want to see racing.
Yeah.
It's not Formula One. We want to see skill. We want to see skill and daring, and we want it to be surgically done, not bludgeon. You don't take a mallet to something. We want to see it done with a rapier. You want to see it cleanly done and effectively done and beautifully done.
Yeah, and Max can do that as well, right?
Yeah.
Oof. Do you see the angle from Jake, devil's advocate? Max can do that as well. Let's hear what Damon says, responds to that question. Please continue.
And has done that as well.
Yeah.
It's just that you picking up on that one point.
No, well, it's occasionally they are at moments in situations, let's say in championships. So
yeah. Where does Max sit for you in the list of great drivers?
Right up there. No question.
Number one?
Possibly.
So look, the issue is that Damon Hill is giving his dues, but the order, the chronology of the criticisms are always front loaded. It's always bad as prologue, good as the suffix. It's almost like the praise comes as an afterthought, that the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away, as far as the compliments at the altar of Damon Hill versus Maximilian Verstappen. Now, Damon said something that was quite interesting there. He said that contrarianism isn't always good. If Maximilian Verstappen, as far as his very unique style of wheel-to-wheel combat of the automotive pugilistic variety, is the only one doing that, then that's got to be wrong. That there's got to be something wrong with it. I couldn't disagree more, Damo. Because as far as your criticism, particularly the timing of it on the back of the turn one instance God tier overtaking manoeuvre at the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix last race weekend, all of the other journos, as near as makes no difference, all of the God tier ones, for the avoidance of doubt, all journos, F1 journos, are created equally, but some are created more equal than others. Most of them are sat round applauding. Don't believe me? Listen to what James Allen, the legend of F1 commentary and broadcaster, had to say about it. Continue.
Yeah, it was Red Bull's 400th Grand Prix, and it was in many ways, Ben, a sort of textbook Max Verstappen win, built on the platform of that very bold move. Then the way he kind of managed the race, he had to soak up a fair bit of pressure. Yeah. Obviously got a bit of a lucky break with the virtual safety car, but it felt to me, you know, he's won 65 Grand Prix now, but it felt to me we've seen that race before, like
kind of like a repeat, wasn't it?
No kidding, Sherlock. We have seen it before on a gazillion occasions now. This level is sporting endeavour par excellence PLC on a multitude of occasions, more occasions than not. And Ben Hunt, who was at the bloody Grand Prix last race weekend, agrees. He talks about the reaction in the press room to that turn one instance. Roll the clip.
Yeah, it was like a repeat, wasn't it? Yeah, for me that was a point when that overtake happened in the first lap. People in the press room were clapping, and you know that these people are very sage, aren't they? And
cynical, you mean?
Yeah, very much so, very much so. And they usually very critical of Max as well, for various different reasons. But people were applauding that moment, and I thought that was interesting. It was a great overtake, but he, as you mentioned, James, he didn't have it all his own way, and
people in the press room, ladies and gentlemen of the F1 jury, were clapping that dude. And they don't always speak of Maximilian Verstappen in the highest terms. They're not always praising him. That means a lot, doesn't it? That all of the press, the accredited F1 journos, to a man and or woman, were applauding that Maximilian Verstappen moves, irrespective of what they think about him as a person. You know what Damon's doing? As I round third base, I conclude my soliloquy this way. Damon Hill reminds me of those who talk about Diego Maradona and only want to talk about the hand of God, missing all of the sporting endeavour par excellence that went on before and after. Reminds me of people that want to talk about the travails of Lionel Messi, that he was better for Barcelona than he was for Argentina, that only want to talk about Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s indiscrepancies outside of the squared circle, that say that Michael Jordan was a gambling addict, failing to see the bigger sporting endeavour par excellence picture. All of that stuff for me, how I ingest my sports, fades to black. It's lost in the roundings, chat. Especially as you see that Maximilian Verstappen, as far as that dude is, I know they will say that I'm glazing, but hear me out. Max is the type of dude to sack off the F1 movie, the official screening at Monaco, pre the Monaco Grand Prix weekend, to do what? To sit down on the sim and practice, because that's what Maximilian Verstappen is. He's nothing more or less than a racing driver, chat. Meaning, therefore, that's all that he's invested in. The W, gaining 25 points over the course of a race weekend and beating all of the other 19 without compunction, with impunity. And I'm not going to lie, again, indulge me in my subjectivity. As far as my unique brand of F1 driver, the ones that I'm attracted to, like a moth to a flame, I like those ones that will scratch and claw at every sinew with a view to get durable competitive advantage of the lap time variety to beat each and every single one of the other drivers. That's what I like Damon Hill. That is the lens through which I watch and enjoy my F1. Very different, in stark contrast to yours. But do you know what? Sometimes everybody can't be for everyone. Oh, the humanity.